Hey you guys, have a look at this next video. You're going to see Karoline Leavitt totally destroy this ABC host after she asked Karoline this ridiculous question about Trump. Have a look.
We want to talk about violence against political opponents. Let's talk about the fact that Democrats have been labeling President Trump a threat to democracy for the better half of 10 years. Let's talk about how they have compared him to Hitler, one of the worst mass murderers in the history of the world, and that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden weaponized the court system and the justice system in this country against Donald Trump in an attempt to imprison him. He sat through a courthouse for 7 weeks this past year, and the Democrats were hoping he would go to jail for it. That is real political violence that has led to 2 heinous assassination attempts on President Trump's life that, by the grace of God, he was able to escape, and he is here with us today. So yes, President Trump knows a little bit about political violence because he's experienced it himself. And talking about the tragic realities of war that Liz Cheney and her father, Dick Cheney, have got this country into is not political violence. It's talking about the reality of the foreign conflicts that the Washington, D.C. establishment have sold out young Americans to for decades.
Yet, of course, after those attempted assassination attempts on the former president's life, his opponents reached out to him and said they do not accept political violence. That has been a key difference. I do want to play you.
No, please. His opponents are saying to this very day the same rhetoric that led to those 2 assassination attempts. The second attempted assassin on President Trump's life echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a threat to democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie. And yes, you will take political violence like we have seen in 2 instances against President Trump. Last week, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was a Nazi. That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day. And I am so sick and tired of the media pointing the finger at Donald Trump and saying that he is sowing division in this country. He is not. The media is for pushing hoaxes like the one that you all pushed today, and the Democrat Party is for pushing lies about him. But the good news is Americans don't buy it. And that's why today in 2024, President Trump is more popular than he has been since 2016 because people don't trust the media and they're not buying the Harris campaign's closing argument that he's some great threat to our democracy because they lived under him for 4 years as president and our democracy and our country was stronger than it is today.
I am so surprised that ABC News didn't delete this video because it totally destroys not only the host, but it makes ABC News look ridiculous. Karoline was, this is like the first time I've seen her, and I usually watch a lot of news. She's awesome. She knew exactly how to answer this question and giving fact after fact after fact, showing how it is the Democrats who are here to destroy democracy, not Donald Trump. And it's so obvious by everything they put Donald through. And she's right as far as he is more popular today than he was even back in 2020, because every single thing that the Democrats did to Trump made him more popular. He rose above it. He was able to use it and capitalize on it. That when he went to his fingerprints and his photo for being arrested, his photo blew up. He used it. Every single thing that the Democrats put on him, he was able to turn it around, use it to strengthen his campaign, strengthen the knowledge and education around who he really is. And Americans still are not having it with what the Democrats are trying to do. And she's right. When the reporter came in and said to her, but after the 2 assassinations, Biden and Harris came in and said that they're not having that, like that shouldn't happen. But then the next day, they started with their rhetoric again. It's almost like it is actually every single thing the Democrats accuse Donald Trump of doing, they did themselves. And they'll say things just to appease people, but then they turn around and they can't help it. They show their true colors. And that was calling not only him a Nazi again, after he was assassinated twice, but they called all of us, all his supporters, Nazis too, which is just, it's just so ridiculous, and it shows not strength, but their total weakness.